What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown Media. My name is Zach from Another Letdown Media and the Adjacent Hex podcast. I will be your host this evening along with my good buddy, Mike, aka Broody Gambit. How's it going, man?
It's going great. Glad to be here.
Yeah, me too. It's been an interesting day. I spent most of it at the comic book store where I work, agonizing over what I was going to paint tonight, to be perfectly honest, because I finished the Gears minis. What the heck do I do now? Oh wait, I've got a giant backlog. So I'm back on the Brutality minis. What have you got on the docket tonight?
By popular vote, I've got the Night Models Ra's al Ghul.
Very interesting. One of my favorite characters from the Batman pantheon of villains. They are pretty. I mean, Batman has some awesome villains. I think his rogues gallery is only like put to shame by the Flash, I guess. But Ra's al Ghul is like super dope. Anyway, as with all the shows that we host here on the Another Letdown Media channel, we believe in civil rights for absolutely everyone, and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. So, without any more delay, let's paint some minis. So I've got the witch lady, that I think she's the Conjurer or something like that from Brutality. I don't know. She's cool. She's got a blue robes and stuff and a bright red hair. It's gonna be a lot of fun. She's also holding a dead guy's head. That's gonna be fun to paint.
Yep.
So before the show, Broody and I were talking about how to paint a Lazarus pit, and I was reminded of one of my favorite Batman stories in recent memory. As much as I hate Grant Morrison, I really loved the resurrection of Ra's al Ghul. I read that story every single Christmas because it's a Batman Christmas story. It's a Christmas story in the same way that like Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It's just a story that happens to take place at Christmas and they acknowledge it in like one panel. But it's got some really cool artwork by oh my gosh, who did it? Paul Dini, who is just a classic Batman artist.
Yeah,
and
one of the greats.
Yeah, oh for sure. So GW, and unfortunately, like this is a little like distressing for now because you can't exactly go out and buy another paint right now. But they recently released. Yes, Batman OL is awesome too. RPD. They recently released a set of paints specifically designed for Necrons. There's a color called Tesseract Glow that I think will serve you really, really well for the Lazarus Pit.
Which I do not currently have.
Right, of course.
Awesome.
But
that is good to keep in mind. Maybe I can hold off on trying to do the glow effect and when I can pick up some.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so with that taken care of, and having a few moments to talk about Batman. Everyone know. I mean, I think people around here know how much I adore the Batman comics. I'm gonna dive in on this Conjurer lady here. She's pretty straightforward. She's wearing armor, which helps. Kudos to the Brutality people for like actually giving her reasonably like fitted armor that's actually going to do work to protect her.
Yeah.
RPD sound level's good tonight. I know we were having some trouble with it last time. And a reasonably fitted hat, yeah. I'm gonna dive right into the light browser tonight. Oop, if it stays open. Sounds good. Excellent. Base code brush. Here it is. So next up for the Gears minis, I got to find a way to store them. And I think I've hit on something that I like. I found some pluck foam from Battle Foam. that was banging around in the back room of the comic book store. I was like, this I could probably cut down to size. I sent you a picture of it, Broody, and
Yeah.
you sort of thought exactly the same way I did. It's going to fit exactly into the box, which is going to be great. Oh my god.
And that pluck foam is really good. I've got a, what is there, pack like 1532 or something, and pack like 340 something.
Uh-huh.
So I've got like two size packs with various amounts of pluck foam in it. It does great to store minis.
Awesome. That's good to hear. So as for me, I've been playing a lot of Borderlands 2. Finished the main story and the first DLC campaign, starting the second one any day. Nice, RPD.
Oh my goodness, I love Borderlands.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it a couple weeks ago. Once Alex and I finish Gears 5 and Gears Tactics, we're gonna dive right into Borderlands because I have not played them.
In fact, me and Casey have played through the 1, 2, and the pre-sequel, and we started playing 3, but couch co-op does not work on it at all.
Oh, that
very
sucks.
poorly designed. So with her birthday that just came up, we got us like a cheap refurbished new Xbox One.
Nice.
And GameStop was having a sale, and managed I picked up like new copies of all 3 of the games, or all 4 of the games, for dirt cheap. They're all like $10 each, if not cheaper.
Oh, that's terrific.
And so we are going to try to go through again. And hopefully the co-op in 3 is a little bit better when we're on separate TVs.
That'll be great. RPD points out, yes, indeed, we have talked about it several times. Yeah, that's fairly classic me. Have I ever told you my GameStop story? Or I guess
No.
less mine than my buddy Eric's, but so this is the reason why I won't shop at GameStop. My buddy Eric was a manager at GameStop. He's doing very well for himself at the time. And I got to zoom out the camera a little bit because it's just don't have enough real estate to work with. And somebody held up his store at Knife Point. I'm sorry, Knife Point. Gotta get the details right here. And he has had PTSD ever since. For obvious reasons, right?
Yeah.
And he hasn't been able to work. Well, GameStop, instead of, trying to work with him, just sacked him on the spot. Which was really scummy, especially considering all the hard work that Eric had put in working for them.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, getting inside this cape is really difficult.
Needless to say, he right, RPD? Needless to say, he did file a lawsuit, and he won, actually, a pretty considerable settlement. But, of course, when you're on disability, that doesn't last very long.
Yeah.
But we're doing the best we can to get him back into working order. This was many, many years ago now. He's doing a lot of caretaking of our friend's kid and such, so. Go for it, RPD. I would love to hear your GameStop story. Which green is that, Broody?
I'm using Wog Flesh.
Okay.
It's a bit darker than I'd like. But my Vallejo green, which I think is the brighter color that I'd like to use, doesn't base on very well, especially on a black primer, which is what I primed them with.
Sure.
So I'll at least get this coat down and then do a second coat of the lighter green on top of it.
Right on.
And once again, another mini in the long list of things I should have painted pre-assembly.
I know, right? I was looking to pick up a physical copy of something I can't pronounce. Project Diva F2. Project Diva 2nd. And when asked at GameStop, they said they didn't have it, despite it having been out for about 2 weeks at that point and showing up in their registry as such. And when I asked the clerk, she suspected the management didn't order any copies because, quote, they think it might attract the wrong crowd. What? That's some garbage, RPD. That is some hot GameStop garbage.
My GameStop story is a lot less exciting.
Go on.
And it also involves Best Buy, so...
Oh, well. 2 for 1.
Yeah, I know. So, one time in college, me and my roommates and stuff were just kind of like looking around at like sales and stuff at various places, and we noticed that Best Buy had a sale for like $20 off on select video games.
Sure.
And we found one of them, X-Blade or something like that. I don't know.
Sure.
That was like currently like list priced at $19.99, and it was on like the $20 off coupon. And like the restrictions were like you could buy like use the coupon and you could get the 20% off on a certain number of copies. So like we went and bought like each of us bought 9 or so copies.
Oh my god!
Which with the coupon was all free, and so we just kind of just walked out of Best Buy with stacks upon stacks of this game that we try to take to GameStop and sell. It turns out that GameStop will not accept games for trade-in if they're not already opened, which we didn't realize at the time. So we just walked in with like sealed games and was like, "Hey!"
Oh no!
So like they wouldn't end up taking any. I was like, "Well, can I just walk outside, just open them all, and bring them back in?" Like, no, we've seen it, and so we ended up going to like a smaller, not a huge chain type store, and ended up selling all of them there.
You probably got better value, better EV than
maybe. But we did notice at the other place that they had all of their like trade values and all the stuff listed online, so you could look up things.
Yeah.
And like immediately the next day, they were like the trade-in value plummeted to like $1 for a copy instead of like the $10 per that we got them for original.
RPD, you can go ahead. You're all set, man. You don't have to ask for. You're a mod, man. You do what you want. Other than banning Taffy. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, Rudy, but it was RPD got a little punchy with the band hammer.
Oh yeah, that was on the Arkham game.
Okay. That was funny. I laughed.
I did too. It was great. Now this green, oh, you can't really tell the difference in the different greens, I don't think.
I can. It's big enough on my screen, I can tell.
Yeah. This green is the one that I'm definitely trying to go for, so.
Sure, yeah. I had a customer come in today, ask me about, what I feel about different paint lines. And he kind of like wouldn't accept my answer, because my answer is I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I was like, dude, I only use Citadel because that's what's available to me. Like, it's not that I have any preference between lines. It's just that's what I can get for free.
Yeah.
So incidentally, if any paint companies out there want to sponsor us, we will happily say yes.
Yeah.
Addendum to my story, it was the point I just looked at myself and said, and here I thought we stopped doing this kind of discrimination post-1960s. I'm a white N-word. Man, the detail in this model matches the drawing almost exactly, and I love it.
It's always nice when that happens.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, Broody and I are both painting minis decided by committee tonight. Mine was a committee consisting exclusively of myself and Broody. Broody pitched his to one of our Discord channels, and the unanimous cry for Ra's al Ghul to be painted on stream tonight, I think was a good decision.
Yeah. He's been, like, I got him, goodness, back in February.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe March. So I've kind of been sitting on him for a while wanting to paint him.
Well, there's something to be said for waiting until the time is right. Like, I had one Chaos Dwarf mini that I knew, like, if it was a promotional model, it was only available for like one day. And I was like, okay, this model needs to be like my swan song for Chaos Dwarfs. And so I sat on it and sat on it and sat on it and sat on it for years. And I finally like, all right, deep breath, we're doing this right now. And I worked on that model for over a week. And considering it was just one small infantry guy, I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, what's the biggest area is? Oh, I can do that there. Corn red! Which, of course, I've taken off my palette because it was not relevant to the Gears minis. What the hell is it hiding? Let's go for the blood god. That's my fist red. Corn red! Oh.
Goodness, I almost want to just, like... Yep, I'm doing it.
Go on.
I'm getting my X-Acto knife out, I'm popping them off of this base, and I'll just re-glue them back on it.
Very fair. My corn red has just about had it. Oh dear. Shame though, this Corn Red and I have been through a lot together. And by a lot, I mean most of my Chaos Dwarfs.
Come on.
So, you said you got the Return to Forgotten Age in today.
I did.
And you mentioned that some of the player cards were really good?
Yeah.
You want to elaborate?
So highlights. There's now an upgraded decorated skull.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Yeah. It's one of Casey's favorite cards. She plays with Akachi and has it in her deck, and Akachi gets anything with charges. And they start with an extra charge.
Yep.
So it comes into play with a charge already on it because it normally starts with 0.
Right.
And so the upgraded one lets you, as an action, spend up to 3, and you get to draw a card and gain a resource for each charge you spend.
Whew.
So you get better action economy instead of like one action to do one charge for one card and one resource. Because you can essentially do it all as like 3 actions as one then.
Yep.
Which is outstanding.
Yeah, that's super good.
The other rogue card, since I'm there, is an upgraded Colt vest pocket pistol thing.
Yep.
I forget exactly what the basic one does. I think it's fast or something, but it like goes back to your hand at the end of the round.
Yes, it does. That is correct.
This one kind of does that. It comes into play with 5 ammo on it. But it does not bounce back to your hand until you actually activate it.
Oh,
so
that's terrific.
And then like the next turn, like, oh, I've got Leo and I'm Tony Morgan or something like that. So I'm gonna get a free attack action against something, and so I can like use all 5 ammo, and then it bounces back to my hand.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's so nice.
Or if you're like, oh, I've got a quick thinking, this will give me an extra action where I'll succeed at it, and it's the same like +2 fight and +1 damage as the original version, but you get more use out of it because you don't have to like, it doesn't immediately go back, and you get to spend like all of your, you can spend more ammo using it.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. I always struggled with the Colt Vest Pocket in exactly that regard, so it's nice to know they handled that with the upgrade.
Yeah. The Guardians have a new Blood Eclipse.
Okay.
I think it's like a downgraded version, so you can get it like cheaper.
Sure.
Where it's just like it's a flat, you take 2 damage and you get +2 and deal +2 damage on a fight action, but you use your willpower instead of your brawn.
Okay.
Which is identical, except for the fully upgraded one at level 3 is like you get to choose how much damage you want to take, up to 3, and for each damage you get +1 fight, +1 damage.
Nice.
So like, yeah, it's like always 2 bonus and 2 damage, but yeah, like I can see how it's useful as like a stepping stone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goodness, what else was there? There's a upgraded Chthonian stone.
Ooh.
Also, great Akachi bait.
Yep, for sure.
So it starts with 3 charges now.
Okay.
So 4 for Akachi.
Yep.
And when you draw an auto fail, you just remove a charge. And once all the charges are gone, then it bounces back to your hand, as opposed to it just automatically the first time you draw an auto fail.
Mm-hmm.
So it does the same like seal a token bit, but you have a little bit of extra time to work with.
Sure. That's terrific. That's really good.
Yeah. There's also a downgraded Alter Fate for
Okay.
Survivor. So it's less experience to get, but the original one was a fast action and this one's not. But it's the same deal. You just get to get rid of a non-weakness treachery in play.
Yeah.
Which is solid.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a new archaic stone
Okay.
for Seeker. So if you've identified, they have one that's like every time you draw a card, you can heal a horror. One. What was the second one? Heal horror. I forget the second one. I think it's something about fight or something.
Yeah.
This one, anytime you draw a card, you can discard a secret off of it to move a space.
Right on.
So yeah, at that point in time, just more options, but
Options are good though, like especially in Forgotten Age.
yeah. Like I think I told you, like I started a Forgotten Age campaign, but haven't finished all the way through it.
Yeah.
But from what I have played so far, it seems like the Return 2 is kind of like a balancing act, not a like a challenging act.
Not a makes it worse.
Yeah, like all of the previous Return 2s are like, here, we'll make this a little bit more challenging and like spice things up so it's a little bit different. This is like, we'll tone back this a little bit for you.
Nice. That's Forgotten Age is the campaign we left off on as well. Before the Backstreet Boys went on tour, as the Game Grumps would say.
Yeah.
And I talked to one of our players today, the one who's being most stringent, I think, about going out. And you know, I was like, I don't blame you, man. Like, we're not gonna play without you. Certainly, that's not our game. But we might start another campaign instead, just to sort of tie this over. Maybe introduce some new players to the system.
Yeah.
And he was all about it, so that's good. RPD says, in other news, I finally figured out what to do with Butterfly's problematic principle. I'm going with slightly reworded Nomad. Nice.
That brush is too big. I also spent the afternoon cleaning my brushes, so
Oh, cool. I do that.
yeah, soaked them in a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and then got my brush soap out. Got rid of the paints and smoothed out the bristles and stuff.
Nice. Ooh, I like this color. Okay, well, this is where we're going. Mornfang brown.
I love Mornfang brown.
Yeah. Well, I found that in the app they have a color that they describe as cinnamon that I think is absolutely going to be perfect for her dress. I'm a little hesitant to use the Mornfang, but now that I'm seeing it on the app, I'm really digging it.
Apparently getting Ra's al Ghul to look all supporting the Green Bay Packers.
Who knows? Maybe Ra's al Ghul is a cheesehead.
Maybe.
Imagine watching football with the League of Assassins.
It'd be interesting.
It sure would.
While not as interesting as this mini, I should have busted out my other Ra's al Ghul mini.
Uh-huh.
I've got one of the older Night Models figures
Yep.
of Ra's, but it's based off of Liam Neeson.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it looks great. But it is rather basic. It's just like, hey, I'm wearing a suit and I look like Liam Neeson, so
Night Models taking on Taken.
that is a nice in-joke. That version of Ra's al Ghul has like a special ability in-game where like if he rolls a crit, he just instantly kills people because he has a certain set of skills.
Yep.
So it was a funny little nod that it's just like, oh, I rolled a 6, you're dead. Nothing you can do about it, you're just dead.
RPD says, of course the outcome of the game is something that he had already decided long before. He replies, that sounds right to me. I would think it's their main way to wind down after a day of undermining the world's governments. Tell you one thing I will not miss about the Gears minis is that working with minis that tiny, primer didn't, and with plastic that flimsy, primer did not stick to it very well. I had to go back with the Imperial primer on a number of them, which was really frustrating. Of course, you lovely hecklers in the chat didn't have to see. I didn't subject you to that misery. Did that off camera.
Do you prefer like a paint-on primer?
No, I much prefer spray primer. The only reason I have the paint-on primer is for exactly that reason: is when the spray doesn't stick.
Okay. Yeah, my first experience priming was with the Imperial primer.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, all of my Sentinel Tactics minis that I painted were with that primer.
Oof. I mentioned it before. I mean, if a game offers me, especially something like that, or a Scott Pilgrim, or something like that, if it offers me the alternative of getting pre-painted minis, I will generally take that option. Because my my style is very specific. It's very much this gritty, grimy, feel. That I'm very proud of, but it doesn't work for everything. Huh? Yeah.
It doesn't work for everything, so
yeah. So I'm very excited that our store is going to be able to get in the painted minis for Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, for Sentinel Tactics, I did like all of the heroes and villains.
Mm-hmm.
Never got around to like the minions or the citizens.
Yeah.
And then I ended up just buying the painted minis later when it was deeply discounted.
I went full bore on that Kickstarter. So I had an interesting conversation with Christopher a few weeks ago. Sentinel Tactics, Prime War, the now canceled product, and Sentinel Tactics catered to a very, very specific subset of gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Primor even more egregiously than Tactics. Oops, I'm throwing my phone on the floor. And unfortunately, while I and Christopher and Loreforge and all the people behind Primor are those people, most of the gaming community, and especially most of the Greater Than Games community, is not that kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's makes it difficult. Swap brushes here. So you're saying you have a very particular set of painting skills. It's all connected, yes. We're like the Avengers up in this business, RPD. Only, we do painting instead of... Oh, I'm just talking, like, GTG caters largely to a cooperative community, first of all, not a wargaming community, i.e. not Warhammer players so much. Not that Warhammer players don't enjoy their games, it's just not, like, the design space for a Warhammer-like game is not there. And the marketability is not there. And that's kind of what Primor was doing. And again, anything I say here, not in any way reflective of the official positions of Greater Than Games on anything. I'm just a minion. Both of us are just minions for them when the situation calls for it. Now I have a lawyer for that, RPD. His name is Doug.
Raish's cloak reminds me of the Cloak of Levitation from Doctor Strange.
Uh-huh.
Just green instead of red.
Yeah. Oh, I sent Katie from Greater Than Games a bunch of pictures of us doing this for newsletter purposes.
Yeah. I remember seeing her request things.
If you have pictures that you're proud of finished products of minis, send them to her, because I sent her a bunch of the Gears ones. Gotta make sure we're both represented. Black steel. Cool. That's easy.
Looks like
It's not purple, it's bluish.
Skin time.
Skin time. Yeah, you know what? It is skin time. And I'm going to do the same thing what I did with Baird last week. That Rakarth flesh with the flesh wash over it. Whew, looks so dope. So my cousin decided to torment me today.
Yeah.
Sent me pictures from the Outer Banks.
Nice.
I mean, I'm headed to Acadia next at the end of the week, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah, Casey's cousin was getting married in September, and they postponed it
Of course.
or canceled it. Like they were originally getting married in June, but then moved it to Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
And me and Casey already had plans to go visit my parents at the beach for Labor Day.
Yeah.
But we were planning around the wedding on Saturday, so we were just going to go down Saturday night after the wedding.
Sure.
And then they let out everyone know and was like, hey, we're canceling. So we ended up calling my folks and be like, hey, we can come down early or whatever. Like, we can come down like Thursday and have Friday and the weekend and everything. And then like this afternoon, we got invited to go to like informal gathering to celebrate kind of thing. And it's like we just changed all our plans.
Oof.
It'd have been nice to know this when you canceled this before we made other plans.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. RPD says on this channel we say future wife instead of fiance. Now I'm trying to remember what that's a reference to. Because I'm dumb. And forget things. The room. Oh, right. Duh.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Yeah. Tom, Johnny, she's your future wife. Actually, before we went live yesterday, I was doing sound check with Greg, and the joke that I made, or I don't even remember what Greg was yelling at me for. It was something audio, something. Oh yeah, I have to be. So for some reason, Steam defaults me to being away or offline. And Greg was like, "Make sure you're online this time." And I was like, "We make real Hollywood movie, Mark." Or Greg. He didn't get it. Because clearly Greg is an uncultured swine. Yes. We've definitely told Alex to keep his stupid comments in his pocket. On numerous occasions, not just on Gear Up. That is one of mine and Sammy's favorite things to tell Alex. So, we have... I don't even know if do I still even have it open on my phone? Oh, I sure do.
Leave your stupid comments in your pocket.
I have the room soundboard that I
Nice.
occasionally annoy Alex with, so like
Oh, hi, Mark.
is readily available at any time. Also,
Hi, Doggy. Everybody betray me. I don't. Everybody betray me. I'm fed up with this world. No, it's not true. Don't even ask.
needless to say, I could keep going, but I won't. It's painting time. I'm just annoying the chat with the room quotes. Unrelated to anything, but can we talk about how incredible the MN10 soundtrack? Dude! Yeah! It's super good. It's super good. I'm delighting RPD with the room stuff. Okay. Good to know. Meanwhile, Hian's run for the hills. Nitro Man and Solar Man. Yeah. It's so good. Alright. I've been putting it off long enough. I think it's time to do the blue bits.
Blue bits?
Yeah, she's got... most of her costume is blue, but it's like also purple. I don't think I have Naggaroth Knight though. Oh, I do! Oh my god! Look at that! Well, this is gonna be super old. This is from back when I was painting Night or Dark Elves. Dark purple. Ooh. Okay, I may have a solution here. I may actually be really happy with this. Jeez. Hilariously, the thing they have in common is sounding nothing like something in an actual Mega Man soundtrack. Yeah. Yep. Your description is very apropos, RPD. I may be entirely wrong use of that word. Oh, cheapers. Well, this is really hard to see over the black undercoat. Well, that helps. Change the lighting just a little.
Nope. I don't think I like that. Undo it. I'm working on Raish's facial hair.
Oh boy. I had to do that on Phoenix last week. And it's just like the tiny little soul patch for Phoenix. Giant pain in the neck.
What else do
I'm using the overhead camera to like detect to figure out if I've actually missed any spots or anything. Boy, that blends in like crazy, but I love it. The color looks good.
Yeah, this I'm looking at the reference photo for Raish, and they just got him with like a solid hair of like solid gray, and that's about it. I'm like, nope, I'm doing the black with the white.
I was gonna say that's not Ra's al Ghul at all.
Yeah,
Like that's not how he does. The facial hair is like an integral part of his look, or the hair color rather, like the Mr. Fantastic style
yeah.
business.
I don't think I need any more solid black. A bad in black.
Emphasis on the bad. Oh,
Yeah.
Abaddon Black, notoriously very difficult to work with.
Yeah, I mean, you can't like shade it at all. It's like, okay, once
Yeah.
it's on there, it's like you can't get any darker.
Right. As with white, traditionally I'll use a gray instead of black in many cases. You'll see me do that on Zombie Cat over here. It's just the group chat. I hate group chats.
What? What?
It's invasive. Which begs the question, why do I like Discord so much? So you've known me for a couple of years now, Rudy.
Yeah.
Would you say that you know at this point that I'm a nervous person?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because that is absolutely a fact. I am definitely a nervous person. I was watching one of my favorite TV programs today, and one of the hosts of the show is John Richardson. He's a comedian from the north of England, and the poor guy, he has a lot of the same anxieties that I do and worries. They triggered every single one of them on him in this episode. I felt so bad. First thing they had him do was sit in a guy's lap while said guy massaged and then blew raspberries on his belly.
Oh.
Yeah. Then they proceeded to trigger what is called the tension round. It's a game show of sorts. Called Countdown, or 8 out of 10 Cat Stars Countdown. And the tension round is you're trying to solve a word puzzle while things are literally exploding around you.
Yeah.
I was like, that, ladies and gentlemen, is John Richardson's and coincidentally my worst nightmare.
Things exploding.
Just in close proximity, but trying to like do homework while things are exploding. So we went to dinner at my wife's former boss's house tonight, who we get along with very well. He's a good friend. And he was like, oh, I've got these Roman candles left over from 4th of July. Let's play with them. And I was like, today is not a good day for that. And I was like hugging myself for 20 minutes while they did that.
Yeah.
I was having flashbacks to Yamstein. Especially when one of my wife's coworkers was literally standing in a bush. Which is exactly, I've told you this story before, where my friend Rich ended up. That one fateful Yamstein. I can tell you're a nervous person mostly because I've spent 20 years meditating on insight into it and analysis of such matters. See, that's interesting, RPD, because, like, on stream, I feel like generally I'm pretty confident. Although, you've definitely seen me on an off day, too. Oh, whoops. Oh, so last night when I was ragging on Greg for me being stuck in Zelda, as soon as I sat down and started playing it again, I got through the bit that I was stuck on.
Oh yeah.
Like, no sooner. It was quite funny. So, of course, I had to text Greg and, blame him. God forbid I apologize. Because that would be foolish. Never apologize to Greg. He doesn't deserve it. I'm totally kidding. Hashtag blame Greg.
It's like you're totally kidding, but kind of not.
Yeah. Okay. Severed head. Let me just do a quick check here. Oh. They have a different suggestion. I don't know if I have that color.
Oh my god, I have the kitten under my feet this week.
Huh?
I do not have my kitten underneath my feet this week.
I'm going to assume that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, last week she bit me.
Oh, God. I forgot about that.
And I planted a head and I'm still wearing shoes, so...
Look at some other options here.
Lead Belcher.
Alright. I got an idea. Stay open. You. Oh my god. I'm going to murder stab this tin of lead belcher.
Yours closes on you too.
Yeah. It's a jerk, and I hate it. There we go. Oh my god.
So I had my one of my D&D games on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I solved the puzzle and got a magic weapon out of it.
Nice.
So I was excited. It's like my first real magical weapon in D&D.
I was astonished. So, the first session, like I usually am one of the last to get a magic weapon because I am generally just very efficient with standard weapons. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of the way I handle things. I expect to have a standard weapon, so I use things as standard weapons. And so right after like the third session, I got a weapon. I think it's called Nikolai's Spitter. And boy, is that axe nice.
I was about to say, that was your third session?
Yeah.
I've been playing for like 2 years.
Oh.
Yeah, so like my character is a monk, which makes weapons for monks hard. There's not a lot of magic weapons for them anyway.
That's true.
Plus their unarmed attacks are magic also, like once you
Right.
get to like level 6 or something. 6 or 7. But like for the most of the campaign I'd been going through with a quarterstaff, and I ended up having to use it in a way that destroyed it because it's just like a long piece of wood. So I'd been on the lookout to try and like make a new weapon
Sure.
or find a new one. But like the way I designed my character, it's like he doesn't like buy things or use money. Like
Yeah.
the possessions he holds are like important to him.
Yeah, that's
So
how
I would-
mine are too.
I was actively looking for like something to come up in the campaign where it's like, oh, it would make sense from like a nostalgic type point of view of like this is why I'd be keeping this item or like these things. So I was like trying to find something that had some sort of meaning to make a new weapon out of.
Yeah.
And I got to this one spot and we were there was like these 4 pylons.
You must
That
construct
was-
additional pylons.
Yeah. That were like keeping this slime in like trapped inside of it. And we had no idea what it was. Turned out it's a bunch of mind flayers that were like harvesting people.
Oh,
using
lovely.
Using the pylons to siphon like the psychic energies into the slime to make like ooze soldiers that were like humanoid, but like more intelligent and still mind controlled.
That's disgusting
Yeah.
and needs to be found and stopped.
Oh yeah, that's what we're working on. We're stopping them. But I ended up taking the pylons down after saving the humans that were still there, and used the pylons to get past like a trap later on. There's like this thing that was creating an aura that would like damage you if you walked through it. But I had the pylon in, so it like shut down as I was walking through holding it. So I was like, oh, I use these to like solve this puzzle. Like I went through, I did things like this makes sense. I'm gonna try and do something with it, and it ended up forging like nunchucks out of them.
Nice.
Because we were in an area with like a forge already there, so I was like, oh, this is great. I'll just like get some like take these little pylon sticks, like cut them down a little bit, tie some chains between them, and that'll be it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
And I was just planning on like, oh, I made these new sticks.
Yeah.
That's great. I can now hit people with it. But the GM's like, these are magical now, because of like how they were Mind Flayer magic siphoning all psychic energies.
Yeah.
So he like imbued the thing with it, which was not my intention initially, but I was happy to have it.
I was gonna say nobody's gonna argue with that.
Nope.
What I was meaning by my earlier comment, I mean, I'm perfectly fine going 2-3 years without a magic weapon. That's fine. That's normal for me. I was astonished that the GM, well, our friend Alex Schmidt, gave it to me that early. I was like, okay, bigger, heavier thing that I can hit things with sounds great. Let's do it.
Yeah. So yeah, he has it working out as like a plus one like weapon, which is good. But it also, in addition to the normal D4 damage that the nunchucks do, it does like a D6 psychic damage.
Nice.
Like when I whack them with it. So when I roll with a monk, because it's a monk weapon, I can change the D4 to a D6. So
Nice.
In actuality, it's like a 2D6 plus 1 damage weapon,
Right on.
which is fairly solid.
Yeah,
Not like the
absolutely.
greatest, but not bad. But it also lets me cast some psionic spells.
Okay, fair.
So like one of them, called Id Insinuation, essentially the target makes a wisdom saving throw. If they fail it, it's like a hyped up cautious hideous laughter. They're incapacitated,
Yeah.
and they take a D12 psychic damage every round
Oh my god, that's awesome.
until they're out of it, and it lasts for like a minute.
Woof.
But like nothing else also gives them the opportunity to redo the saving throw other than the end of their turn.
Yeah.
So like they can still keep getting just hit, and you don't have to worry about them. Oh, I got hit. Let me make a saving throw again.
Right.
The second one is like a reaction called like Mental Barrier.
Mm-hmm.
That whenever I like make a Wisdom and Intelligence or Charisma saving throw, I can cast it as a reaction to gain advantage.
Whoop. That's spicy. I like that.
Yeah, especially my Wisdom's really terrible. Or my no, Wisdom's great. I'm a monk. My Intelligence is very terrible.
Yeah.
And the last spell is called like Ego Whip,
Okay.
which like if they fail an Intelligence saving throw, they get disadvantage on literally everything they do: attacks, saving throws, ability checks, everything.
Nice.
And they can't cast spells until they get rid of it.
That's dope.
So if you pull that off on a spellcaster, any subsequent saving throw they make, they're going to have disadvantage on just off the bat.
Whoop.
And they can't cast spells or anything. So like if you succeed on the first go, like it's just compounding itself.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No,
So
my.
I'm very
Go ahead.
happy how that worked out.
Absolutely. Now the spitter is it's a big beefy axe, but once per day I can imbue D4 poison damage or acid damage rather with it. So basically, when I crit, I stuff acid damage into it too.
Nice.
And being a
Now-
barbarian, critical happens. Put
Yeah.
it that way.
Like my character is like like I said, is a monk, but it's the drunken master.
Of course.
So like I've like headcanon kind of like narratively what's happening with a lot of these spells is like the pylons were made to channel psychic energies into things, and so like what I'm imagining is happening is my near constant intoxication. I'm like just channeling that into other people, and so like that's why they're getting disadvantage on all of their checks and all that other
Just-
stuff. It's like I'm just getting other people drunk by association.
Spreading the alcohol poisoning. Somehow or another, at the gathering we were just at, it was a couple people for dinner, social distancing. But gosh darn it, it's 2020. I'm going to call it a gathering if I want to. The subject of my bachelor party came up, and I was digging through my phone for pictures. And the reason I'm bringing this up is my friend Joff was one heck of a drunken master at my bachelor party. My brother, having been working all day and as a teacher, just same as me, passed out first. Forgot to take his shoes off. Got a dick drawn on his head. My brother, to this day, has not forgiven Joff for that. Joff thought it was his funniest moment ever. I didn't disagree. Drunken master monks are hysterical. That's the bottom line there. I don't really know where I was going with that story.
I'm very pleased with that facial hair.
Yeah.
Now the fun part with the base. Well, I've got this ivory out. I get to paint all of the skulls everywhere.
Oh no. Time to put some Mechanicus Standard Gray on this dead guy's head. And by dead guy's head, I mean his hair. Since you're a lizardman, your stomach is strong enough that the acid does not compromise the foodiness of the target. So Coslius has a crippling addiction to chicken. He loves chicken. Specifically like teriyaki chicken, but he doesn't really understand what that is. It just happens to be what Jacqueline's character feeds him all the time. There was a hilarious incident where he took a Warforged Titan fishing.
That sounds interesting.
So, our party has adopted a Warforged Titan that we killed. Or destroyed, I guess, more accurately. And, its name is Prime. And it calls us... Well, it calls Trevor's character, Valiant, Little Big Brother.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're Warforged. And so while all the other characters were asleep, Coslius woke up early, decided he wanted something not chicken, and went to try and do fishing and rolled a 2. So as a result, Prime came with him and saw Coslius beating the water with what effectively looked like a stick. It was the axe. Started pounding the water with his fist, scaring all the fish away. But Prime thought he was helping.
Yeah.
After all, he was only born yesterday. Yeah, I think I just got the zombie cat and a couple of little accoutrements to do here.
Little skulls.
This is fun. Fishing for what? Elephant koi? Well, there you go. Yeah, it was fun. Coslius has been a little bit disappointed lately because the only fight he's been in has lasted all of like 3 rounds. Quick look. That is a very, very white skull. Oh, I gotta give her feet too. That would help. Feet are important. Those are stockings. I can't tell if those are stockings or armor.
Both.
Yeah, simultaneous. It's brutality. I wouldn't be surprised. The ultimate Fry meme. Not sure if stockings or armor. Warforged Titan. Unless you're all in all-out massive battle, any fight should last about 3 rounds. Well, so there you go.
Yeah, his figure's done. I'm still working on the base.
Yeah. So Prime doesn't end up getting it. So right now we're separated from. Well, not anymore. During that fight, we were separated from Prime, but the enemy had was plagued with bad rolls, so we just walked all over him. So her foot is doing all kinds of weird stuff that I can't really follow. You've managed to get your cat out of the way. Now this model's cat is in my way. What is zombie cat? of skulls and a zombie cat left. Touch up to the severed head.
Okay. I think that covers the base,
Nice, nice.
so I think I can start washing.
Excellent. I am right behind you.
I'm just supposed to go there.
Dr. Charles Richardson, Challenger Initiative scientist, used to be a scientist working for Riva Corp on not quite the Benchmark product, but a project for an earlier project that was scrapped in favor of Benchmark, and Charles, fired from the process, has a special pair of hacking gauntlets that allow him to mess with tech by getting a good grasp on it. Nice. Alright, use that. Alright. Here I'm just now realizing I have a whole mess of bigger brushes that I could use on some of these large flat areas. Mysteries for heroes to potentially look into. What knowledge could let one make something that essentially allows hacking of the human brain, and what research would lead to Benedetto being willing to pay him the massive salary he got back in the day? Good question. Oh, so, were you in the call yet when Greg and Jamali and I were arguing over whether or not the Argent Adept is a giant reference to Link's Awakening?
Yes, I was there.
Adam did settle that debate.
Yeah, what'd he say?
Indeed, yes. Absolutely. If you look at Instrumental Conjuration, there's a giant frickin' egg in it.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Good catch on that.
Yeah. That was a funny moment. Somehow I jammed the other bass brush in my ear. And well, all you need to solve that is to put those two questions together, and the nature of his previous gig should be fairly clear. Oh, sorry. It's one of my favorite twists for a character I've written. Let's say Reva Corp was not his first gig doing highly shady. That's fair.
Good one.
Alright. Oh yeah. Hey Seamus. How you doing, man? Do you have the answer on here, or we're just gonna let that be? If you put the string on the corkboard, it all lines up nicely. Oh, dude, my mental processes are fried right now, RPD. I'm not actually putting things together. Buggery. Oh, yeah. How do you paint bone? Also, what kind of bone do I want? Wait a minute. I'm an imbecile.
What?
I can just... Here I'm like dredging through the Citadel app. Being like, ah, what color am I going to paint this bone? I could just make the app do it for me. Gorgon carapace. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, I like that. All right, Rakarth flesh it is. Yeah, you and RPD both, Seamus. RPD's from Denmark, so you're not alone tonight. His previous gig was Cocoon. Oh my god. Wow.
Where are the schools I'm looking for?
Also, the two different cameras had me confused. Well, there's three, technically. So we got me and Mike and me again. Or is it the fact that one of them's flopped and the other one isn't?
Yeah, sorry, mine's on the side.
No. It's yours is fine, Fruity. It's because of my face cam is swapped so that it looks like I'm facing what I'm doing. So while I'm right-handed, it looks like I'm painting left-handed if you look. On the overlay. So like if I raise my brush up right now, it looks like it's my left hand, but that's because we're flopped. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Sword. Sword-like object. Don't tell you that. I presume you're referring to RPD. There. Famous. Alright. So I'm just noticing that the skull on her hat here looks like Grim from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Nice. Haven't seen that show in a while.
Oh my god, I used to love that show. Must get proper sleep or my sleep pattern will be messed up for my entire... Oh, you're on holiday now, Seamus? Or presumably coming up. I am going camping myself at the end of the week. Incidentally, there will be no shows next week. That's awesome, man. Congrats. Zombie skin. Oh, hey, look at that.
Do I have Death Guard Green? I do. Ha!
I gotta work Tuesday, Wednesday this week, and then I'm off for the weekend, and then back to school the following Tuesday. So yay! I'm getting to move the furniture into the house and be finished with the flat for good. Nice. That's awesome. So I'm doing the same blending technique that I did on the Berserker. Using mostly Mechanicus Standard Gray, but also with a couple of splotches of Death Guard Green for zombie flesh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping it turns out as well as it did with the Berserker. So once again, putting Nuln Oil to work on this model.
Yeah, I'm coating like the entire base in Nuln Oil.
Somehow or another, that's the first. That's only the first time she's popped off the base tonight. Okay. Alright. Eyeballs on the cat and then sinking time. Well, shading time. Some of that will involve the first coat of Nuln Oil, but some things need shading before I can put Nuln Oil down. And by some things, I mean quite a lot of things. Oops.
Yes, cool. Marvel as I lose my train of thought. Halfway through grabbing paint colors.
That's not good.
No, that's fine. I got it. I found it. It's back on the rails.
Oh, weird reach.
I may need to get a new thing of glue because this one's not working.
Oh no.
Pop them off the base. Doesn't want to bounce very well, but
Yeah, all right.
so he balances still walking, so he can dry, but and that did not take me nearly as long as I thought it would.
No, yeah, you're done way faster than I expected.
I guess there was really only like, well, like I pre-airbrushed the base to get like the solid gray coat for everything really quickly
Yep.
before stream. Otherwise, it was like 3 major colors.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, my model's coming along quickly too. Like I'm just putting down these tones and then I'm basically done for the night, so. This is flesh shade, right? Yeah, okay. And then I'll hit everything with Agrax Earthshade, or with, rather, Nuln Oil in the morning. That's alright, man. Can't win them all, right, RPD? Oh, shoot. I still needed that. Is that General Grievous?
Yeah, I figured I'd get started on them.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say it usually takes you at least one.
Ooh.
Idea.
What you got?
Contrast paint. Plague Bearer flesh. I got a zombie cat to paint. I don't get to use this stuff very often. Oh, that's nifty. The Nuln Oil over that's gonna look great. kind of odd going from painting the Gears minis where I didn't want them to be shiny in any way to going back to this armor which I kind of need to be shiny.
Yeah.
While that dries, I'm going to go ahead and put the Astrogranite down. Worked. So what are you starting with on Grievous?
Right now, like the tannish white plates. Just using my standard ivory.
Nice.
I'll probably go over it with the sepia to give it that kind of tannish look.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring.
Sepia wash.
That's another one I'm quite fond of.
Otherwise, this one should be relatively quick also.
Yeah. So I went over to my friend's house the other day, and her kids were playing with their golf cart.
Mm-hmm.
Which I realize now, saying it aloud, is a very New Hampshire thing. And the middle kid, these are the ones that I call my nieces, by the way, offered to take me on the trail, and I was like, all right, fine, Tegan, you can drive me on the trail. She did that, got very excited, and then ran her dad over.
Oh, lovely.
It was really funny. And then tried to lie about it. But she's a
And then
terrible
tried
liar.
Who was she lying to? Hopefully not her dad.
Yeah. She was
I
like,
didn't
I
run
didn't
you
run you over. I was like, T, he ended up on the hood of the golf cart. Like, you definitely ran him over. She's like, but. I'm like, no, but nothing, kiddo. Your dad has scrapes all up and down his leg now. And then the little one started driving it. And I was like, oh god. The little one is 6, I think. She can't quite reach the pedals yet. I think on some level, the 2 little ones are jealous of their older sister, who just got her license.
Uh-huh.
Which is equally frightening, because I still see all of them as, like, 3-year-olds. I wouldn't trust either of my nieces with the golf cart. I don't know expressly, RPD, that I do trust my nieces with the golf cart, but
I guess I trust them enough for Tegan to drive me.
I do not trust my niece. She's only 2.
well, I mean, that's quite logical, to be
Yeah.
honest. Give it a shot. Okay, that's the first time since I painted the Cthulhu model that the contrast paints have been used.
Really?
Yep. I'm not. Whoa.
What?
Apparently, I had a glob of astrogranite on my hand. That was a weird sensation. Everything's fine. Yes. I need to start moving for. This work. Mr. Chomps.
Mr. Chomps.
Oh my god, stupid paint pot. This one's not going to get done by the end of the stream. Damn shame, too, because this one's only problem was the stream finishing too quickly. And slight difficulties considering our... I mean, we're not quite done yet, RPD. You got time. Keep going.
You can do it.
We believe in you! We also believe in the Aufbau principle, but that's a whole other thing. Well, fairly certain I've told stories of my interesting chemistry and physics teacher. At one point or another. He used to say some pretty ridiculous things, and we would write them down, because when you realize how ridiculous someone is, you have to start writing things down. And
Yep.
I used to draw little caricatures of him, straight line drawings, like nothing. They weren't good, but. Oh no, that was the chemistry professor. RPD. This one was just a useless hack, and to be perfectly honest, and yeah, he used to say things like, "Oh, nothing like flinging a little BS around to get things started," or what are some of the other things he said? Elephant can book it like an M1 tank. I have no idea to this day what point he was trying to get across with that. But boy, he tried. Alright, almost ready for an oil. Do you need iron breaker? Oh, they look so similar.
Yeah. But I found the Iron Breaker does not show up very well at all.
Yep, and that's the idea. That's the idea. I just need a little bit of coverage. Speaking of things said, it's okay if you don't want to answer this, but is Gears of War is my favorite magical girl anime, my quote. So, RPD, the reason that it's not, and I do have a good reason for it, is because it was something that was, like, the out of context quotes are things that I have to be able to take out of context. So, like, it is completely contextless for me because I frankly have no idea what the context was. I wasn't even there when you said it. It's just something you were like, oh, I said this one time. And yes, that's by definition out of context for me, but the list is all things that I've heard in context and I'm choosing to take out of context, I guess is the correct way to explain that. All right, I'm making an attempt at something. This could backfire very, very, very horribly on me, as I fully expect it to, but we're gonna give it a shot.
I think our record of being pleasantly surprised would dictate that you should go for it anyway.
Oh, I intend
So,
to. 100%. Of course, my brush is far too wet. So what do I do? Don't get in more water. That makes perfect sense.
you gotta get wet before you get dry.
Yeah. Gotta walk before you can crawl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who said it, Broody?
I don't know.
Daniel
Probably the Sphinx.
Ocean. Probably the who?
The Sphinx from
Oh.
Mystery Man.
No, it was Daniel Ocean from Ocean's 11. When asking Linus Caldwell to tail Terry Benedict. There we go. Now it's behaving the way I want it to.
Yeah, well, I had my airbrush out earlier. I should have just airbrushed Grievous completely silver, and then I would have just had to like do white on the plates
Yep.
instead of me now having to go through and like individually like do his arms and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Thunderhawk Blue coming up clutch. Can the hat match the picture a little bit better?
So what is this brutality game that these minis are for?
It is a 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 arena combat game.
Okay.
Where the objective is to beat the tar out of your opponent as quickly as possible.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Now, when you say one-on-one, I'm assuming you mean like one mini versus one mini, not like one player versus one player.
Both.
Yeah, I guess technically both. Yeah.
It's pretty rad. I like it a lot. I'm getting a wee bit experimental here. Possibly a little overzealous, but we'll deal with that when the time is right. Oh yeah, the hair. Speaking of things, oh yeah, I've already read that. What's the last one? Wild Rider. Thought I had that one.
Maybe I don't.
Cool. I don't think it's that big a deal. Her hair looks pretty good. Okay. Well, my friend, I think it's time to hit this thing with copious quantities of Nuln Oil. A little frightening, but... In the words of Simon Pegg, let's boo-boo. You got time. RPD, go for it. Donnie Harper, Challenger Initiative hero, former rival turned friend of Johnny Law, who worked as the ace driver for the conspiracy Meals Within Wheels, a group of people who delivered food to the secret hideouts of other conspiracies. Now a member of the Challenger Initiative, that most of Meals Within Wheels clientele and Meals Within Wheels itself have been taken down by Johnny. His skills are fast talking and absurdly good driving. That's awesome. I love the concept of Meals Within Wheels RPD. That's terrific. Just a conspiracy whose job is playing other conspiracies against each other for profit, and I'm not sure what other things they're hoping to accomplish. I mean, that's just fun, man. Well, Broody, how's Grievous coming along?
Good for the most part. I'm on to washing, so
Oh wow, so we are pretty much done here.
yeah. He was like 2 colors, so
I mean, I guess we kind of expected that. I'm super stoked on how this model came out. Like, she's really shiny right now because the ink's still drying, but it has highlights in all exactly the right places. Or lowlights, I guess, in this case. I learned a lot painting the Gears minis. And I was able to bring some of that into play here. But it's weird going from like a more traditional, like flats, then inks, then dry brushing and highlighting, to do all that first and then splash a bunch of Nuln Oil over it. It's such a jarring experience, but it really, really works for what I'm trying to accomplish here.
that's not focusing at all. This new camera is supposed to have a fancy autofocus and low light shenanigans.
Alright, hold on. Light on. I can. Oh, wait, no, I can do this. There she is. Well, anyway, 2.5 hours. I think that's almost invariably one of our shorter shows, but that's all right, because sometimes that's just what you need. And that's the whole purpose of this show, is to yeah, there we go. Nice.
I'll get her pictures for it tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Once this ink is all dry, I'll get some good photos of her. But so as I said at the, I think I've said today, maybe I didn't. Anyway, no show next week because I will be in the middle of the woods in a tent, because that's where I want to be at the end of the summer. So Broody and I will be back in a fortnight, and you know, maybe we'll put something together between now and then. I doubt it, but like, fine, great. We're gonna take a break. It's gonna be great. So we will see you in 2 weeks, and I'm sure I will be back here painting more Brutality, and I'm sure Broody will have some cool stuff as well. Thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you very soon. Bye.
See ya, everyone. Bless you.